What are you?
Away from the water.
What was that?
But I am trapped. Oh, what is Sadie? You haven't seen Toy Story 4?
No.
Nope.
Haven't seen Toy Story 4 yet.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, I'll get around to it eventually.
It's good.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the VGRCast, the weekly
Oh, wow,
podcast
we
about
were
anything and
going,
everything
okay.
in between. This week, I'm
Did you get
joined by
the part
these.
where I am trash?
Yes, this week
Good.
I'm joined by my lovely, lovely friends Ryan, Monica, Mike, and Steve. My name is Kevin, and welcome to the show.
Hello.
I like this new opening. I like the lead in. I like it.
And I just kind of like, I was like, as soon as Ryan sat down, I was kind of like, okay, start lowering the music, switch over.
I
Stream
appreciate
deck
that a lot.
button.
I'm glad that you got that I was trash.
Yes, we know. How's everyone doing?
Doing good.
Doing
It's a topic for later.
Mostly.
I just got back from 4 days in California.
gross.
Nice.
I'm screening
mostly-
internally.
Gross.
Oh shit, the mic graphic's still up.
I'm mostly not sick anymore.
What do you mean gross? You guys were roasting in 90-degree weather where it was a balmy 64 degrees in the Bay Area.
Oh, fuck
you.
yourself.
To 90? Shit.
I don't know where the new
I knew
mic
it was hot. I didn't know it was
box
that
is.
hot.
It was like high 80s, but still.
Close enough.
And
For
it was
here?
humid as shit.
Might as well have been
That's
That's the
90.
that's the nice thing about the Bay Area. It's just about the same temperature all year round, but you don't get any snow or thunderstorms, so it's kind of boring.
Oh, if you like it so much, why don't you just move out there?
It's
Yeah.
expensive as shit.
Ah,
Oh,
hard.
if you like it so much, why don't you just marry it?
Well, it's California. That might be legal.
I'm gonna jerk it.
No.
Oh, gross. I think you'll get
No.
Kevin banned on Twitch if you jerk it.
Do not to get to be banned
Only
on
one
Twitch.
way to find out.
Nope. We're into the podcast.
do not.
Speaking of jerking it,
Transition.
What's that? What's the lead?
So what are we transitioning to?
Oh,
That is
Elliot
certainly
Page.
elated. That
Elliot-
is certainly elated.
Okay, that is a weird lead-in.
No,
So-
I think it works. It works. Roll with it.
Elliot Page released some photos of him in a swimsuit for the first time.
Are you pulling
And,
up the graphic, Kevin?
Hold on, I'm finding it.
It-
Yeah, except I saw you just DM me, Steve. So I can't open up Discord while we're doing the
I got it,
podcast.
Steve.
It'll ruin
I'll
everything.
I got it, Steve. I'll dump it in our Twitter chat. He
Um,
DM'd it. Wait, dump it in the general chat dump it in the general, Steve. I'll take care of it.
dump it in the general.
Are you gonna
I'm just
pull
gonna
up a
dump it into
picture,
the-
said picture right now?
Yeah, I'm looking for a good picture. There's one.
I only just
I
found
got
out about
one.
this like just a few hours ago.
Oh.
When I'm like, why are you all talking about Elliot Page? And then I saw that picture and I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
I found this out about 15 seconds ago.
Oh, nice.
Only because
You think I researched topics beforehand?
Kevin, I dumped it in Twitter.
I already got it.
Oh, I should probably silence my phone. That'd be smart.
Ta-ta!
Oh.
No, I don't want to turn off my...
How does Elliot Page look better than I do?
Because they're paid to look.
Do you
that
want an
good?
actual
That's true.
answer to that,
That's
Kevin?
True. That's true. No, I don't.
So, damn, dude.
I'm a sack
why
of
does
potatoes.
he
Why?
skip arm and leg day?
Oh God, you're right.
Ab day is all you need, though.
Yeah, ab day. The ab
Incorrect.
game is strong.
Incorrect.
No.
I mean,
hard
okay,
disagree
you can
there.
you can do ab day without doing leg and arm day, but like you can't do leg day without arm day, and you can't do arm day without leg day. You know?
No, I don't.
Just do all of it.
Also, Dammy's
You
got
do all of
some
it.
long arms. Like, very disproportional to his body.
Well, it's also a weird angle, I think.
But still.
Like it's not like a natural angle. You know, like it's a leaving the pool angle.
Yeah, that's... Look, the question is just like, wait a minute, when did he come out? Because it's like,
Months ago.
how long? Man,
Well,
it just feels like recently because
No, it was
my
a
brain
while
was...
ago.
Oh no, that was a while
enough,
ago.
long enough that that it was originally credited as Ellen Page on the credits for the Umbrella Academy, and they went back. And by the time I started watching it, they went back and changed it.
It was the 1st of December.
Okay, okay, that makes sense because I was like, didn't he come out recently? Would there have been enough time for him to get top surgery?
Is that an 8-pack? I think it might be an 8-pack.
For a celebrity,
Elliot Page is
yes,
an 8-pack.
That is definitely
Oh
enough
god,
time.
Elliot Page does have an 8-pack. How does that even work?
I've heard Elliot Page is an 8-pack.
Meanwhile, I've got
a keg. I've got a
I
keg.
got a
Yeah.
12-pack.
Kevin, I'm going to disrupt your camera stuff briefly.
I got a 12-pack.
See,
Ah!
I got...
Ah! Oh, why would you do this?
Why?
Why you
What have you done?
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Vanessa desperately
Oh,
does not want to be
no.
on camera.
That's fair.
She had to grab her. She had to grab her
It's
phone
just
charger.
Kevin, but mirrored.
I know,
don't
right?
like it.
But
The
I have
long-
abs. They're just buried under a layer of fat, but they're there.
It
They're
protects
they're
them.
strong.
It
It's
protects
like,
them.
I'm
Yeah.
in shape.
Same.
Hair is a shape.
No,
Round
but,
is a
like,
shape.
legit, though, the conundrum I'm facing with my body because my workout game is so strong, but my diet game is not great, is that
that is very much a mood.
like it's like my body is just like it's very strong and very like there isn't a lot of like excess fat, but where there is, but I've still gained weight because my diet game is very weak.
I
strong
literally
body.
just decided today to cut yogurt and like cereal bars out of my diet completely. So
Why?
hopefully
Why?
that'll
Why?
what? Because well, usually I eat like a bowl of cereal, like an apple or a piece of fruit, and a like a small thing of yogurt for breakfast. So I figure I could just get rid of the yogurt, and the cereal and the fruit should be fine. And I usually have like a cereal bar with lunch, and I can probably just replace that with carrots. So
I will say,
You're
related
doing
to
it kind
that,
of wrong.
I switched. I used to eat cereal every morning, and I switched to eggs, and I've lost a decent amount of weight, but I'm really getting sick of eggs.
that's Vanessa's breakfast every morning. Has like an egg and meat breakfast taco.
I have to start adding stuff other
Dude,
than
egg
just
and meat
sunny
breakfast
side up
tacos
eggs.
are the shit. Can confirm.
I mean, the whole. I mean, part of the argument about diet is that you shouldn't cut breakfast stuff because essentially the whole reason why Americans, well, not the reason, but a big reason is because every other first world country in the world, their meals get smaller throughout the day. Like their breakfasts are usually pretty big. Like you've seen the full Monty in like England.
Oh yeah, English
Like,
breakfast.
English breakfast is
Fucking insane.
huge. But then like some countries like Spain, like supper is like a bowl of soup.
Yeah.
Like a salad. Like your meals get smaller because by dinner time you're not doing anything after dinner. You're relaxing. You don't need like a 1,200 calorie dinner
That is
just to
true.
sit there
Come here,
overnight.
boy.
I
I'm
mean,
American.
I am
I need
very.
a big boy breakfast.
I am.
Or a big boy.
I need a giant porterhouse steak for dinner. Medium rare.
If I want to eat 2 TV dinners and a pack of ramen for dinner, that's my God-given right to do so. I swear to God.
I'm not gonna stop.
When
there.
did we get back to Southern Lawyer again?
But I used to just eat like cereal and a piece of fruit, and I added on like the yogurt like somewhat recently. So I'm just like, I don't really need that. So it's just kind of a little extra something I don't need. So
That's fair.
I figure might as well.
Long story short,
Yeah, extra calories that I don't need.
I was watching my cousin Vinny earlier, so I think that's where the Southern Lawyer came from.
Okay, because I'm like, Southern Lawyer hasn't shown his face in quite some time.
Now,
I almost
I
looked
may
into it myself, god damn it.
Now I may just be a backwater hyper chicken.
nice
I'm
reference.
sorry, what?
That's
Futurama. You made a corn.
We're all corn down here.
Anyways, long story short, Elliot Page hot as fuck.
Wish I had time to get a body
All right.
like that. Or the motivation.
What's your ab workout?
Yeah, I would like to know what his ab workout is, because I am
Same.
curious.
I'd like to know what Berserk's ab workout is.
Oh.
Total whiplash.
Transition
you.
are
That
bad.
was a terrible transition.
I don't think you understand. So
That was the no, hold on a second, Mike. That was possibly the worst transition we've ever had on this
Given-
fucking podcast.
given
And
the
we've had some
context.
really bad transitions before, Kevin.
Now,
Be
Given the
ashamed of
context.
yourself.
I think my new goal is to keep making terrible transitions.
Are you trying
Because-
to get me to have an
you're
aneurysm?
really bordered on poor taste with that one.
I mean,
To be
I meant the
fair,
character.
over
The
it.
character,
To be
he's
fair,
ripped.
Guts is fucking ripped.
Exactly.
So anyway,
That's the Halo. He doesn't afraid of anything. You can't just call him Berserk, Kevin.
The Halo is so strong.
Me.
anyway. So last week, I believe it was Wednesday, Kentaro Miura, who is the author for Berserk, passed away. He was 54, I believe. Cause of death was aortic dissection, so essentially a heart attack. Yeah, Berserk speaks for itself. It is an absolute titan of the manga world. Ever since I joined like my anime list, which was like back in 2013, it was the #1 highest rated manga. It still is 8 years later. And I really don't think it's almost incalculable to describe how much of an effect Berserk has had on modern media.
Can you start by, I'm sorry to interrupt, Mike, but can you start by giving a synopsis of what Berserk is about? Because that might help give that context, because I've never heard of Berserk when you started talking about it.
Starting point, actually, because Berserk is a dark fantasy series that basically codified what dark fantasy is today. It's a fantasy setting, lots of gore, lots of violence, lots of very tragic stuff happening, centered around a character named Guts, who is basically on a revenge quest to get back at someone who
When did
betrayed
it first come out?
1980. Hold on, let me pull up at my anime list. It was definitely in the 80s. Why
Okay,
is
so
my
it's
internet-
older.
Yes, it is definitely older. But it is. Hold on, I'm almost there. Let's see, 1989. So, but yeah, just to give a.
So without that, there's probably no Game of Thrones, is there?
Game of Thrones, I would say, was definitely. It could have been influenced by it. There would definitely be no Dark Souls without it. Dark Souls was hugely influenced by Berserk.
Late 80s or
so-
early 80s?
So would you say that Berserk?
89 was when it first came out.
Well,
89?
I literally just looked up the dates of the Song of Ice and Fire books. First one is 96, so that actually tracks.
Yeah,
Could potentially track.
it could have been. It got an anime. The anime adaptation, I think, was 97. Was the first anime adaptation. So, I'm sending, Kevin. I'm sending a picture in chat. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong chat. I'm gonna send a picture in chat just to use in a couple seconds. But just a few brief highlights. In North America, Dark Horse, the comic book people, were the ones who licensed Berserk. And out of every single thing in their catalog, Berserk has been far and away their #1 seller. So any Dark Horse comic has been blown away in sales by Berserk. So that's something. Any time you've seen an anime character with a big fuck-off sword, that's Berserk. So you would have no Cloud Strife without Berserk. Kevin, is that image ready that I
Nope.
just sent? Oh, hold on.
You can't
Yeah.
just spring something on me like that.
Sorry, I thought I mentioned it earlier.
Nope.
But it's oh, and when all the other manga authors were giving their condolences earlier, Atsushi Okubo, who's the author of Soul Eater, described Berserk as his Bible when he was younger.
We'll
Which
get to that
definitely
later.
tracks. Yeah. Yes. Which definitely tracks. There is a lot of I could definitely see a lot of influence in that. So
The picture's up
Yeah.
now.
picture's up. So this picture that's going to go on screen eventually, That's how influential Berserk is.
Not even Marvel's immune.
Yes. And the themes even line up a lot. There's like that particular moment in Berserk is also about sacrificing an enormous amount of something dear to you in order to get your desire. So
The Eclipse iconic scene.
yeah, the eclipse. So yes. Yeah, just read or watch Berserk. The 97 anime I still think is really good. Don't watch the 2016 anime. It's
I
fucking
was about
garbage.
to say, where do I start?
Where do you start? If you can find the 1997 anime somewhere, just go to like Kiss Anime or something,
Oh,
or just
only
torrent
read.
it. You can do that, or you could read the manga because the anime is admittedly is an incomplete experience. Recently, Dark Horse has been putting out these fucking massive 3-volume releases. They even have fucking book ribbons with it,
Damn.
and as you can see, hold on, the art is just fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, that is a big fuck off sword.
That's a
Yeah,
man
I
getting
was
split in half.
Just from looking at some of the insane amount of detail like he puts into some of those, it's like no wonder he
Yeah.
disappeared for months on end.
Yeah, yes, he was also known for going on hiatus a lot at the end. There was actually reports from his editors where they would just be like unbelievably frustrated with him because when he was working with his digital software, he would go pixel by pixel and edit stuff
When I
on a
I
1080 image.
I used to do that. Oh, 1080.
Yes.
I was gonna say I
High
used
res,
to do
baby.
some coloring stuff on DeviantArt like for back in college. I color like line art, and I did that. I never did it on like a 1080 image. That is crazy people shit.
Yes. So yes, would highly recommend Berserk. Obviously, comes with the graphic content catalogs or
Warning.
tags.
Very
A lot of
gory.
violence, a lot of sexual violence as well. So that might be a
Oh.
turnoff for some people.
Yeah.
So
Bye.
yeah, understandable, but it's the greatest manga ever written. So rest in peace, Mira.
Yeah, I'm
Not
pretty
to-
sure a lot of people kind of followed the same suit, Pablo. A lot of people just started rereading and rewatching
Yeah.
after the news.
Yeah, after he passed away, this volume I just showed jumped to number 4 on Amazon's bestseller list.
Wow.
Is that the first one?
Yes, that's the
Ah,
first one.
that's
There's
why.
7 of the deluxe editions out right now.
They had one of
I
them
believe-
at Barnes and Noble the other day.
I believe most, if not all, most of the manga is out in like single volume editions, but I really like the big ones.
I
Just
like
to
them big.
confirm, I think you were saying this earlier in our chat, but it's unfinished technically, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it is unfinished. It left off on a very big cliffhanger
Of
moment.
course it did.
Yes. But it also left off in a spot that was oddly calming. So it leaves a lot of room for interpretation.
I'm
Hmm.
wondering, do you think anyone will
It's
pick it
very
up?
uncommon for other manga authors to take up the work of a deceased author. Like with High School of the Dead, when the author passed away, his illustrator said, "I'm not touching it. This is his work, not mine." So it's uncommon. I imagine we'll get some rough drafts that they'll find in his filing cabinet or something, but that's about it.
Vibing on the island forever.
Yeah.
Is that kind of how it ended?
Yeah.
Vibing on an island.
Yeah.
pretty
That
dope.
certainly is a mood.
And that's the best thing. That's what Guts deserves after all of that.
Just vibing on an island.
So, rest in peace, Mira. Also, not to completely undercut that, but apparently also the more recent passing, the Samuel Wright, the voice of Sebastian in The Little Mermaid, just
Yeah,
Oh, I
I
didn't
saw
know
that.
What?
yeah.
That is sad.
Let's see what else. What
The
else?
human world, it's a mess.
I wonder else. That seems to be the only notable role, but
He's a Jamaican crab.
Filmography.
Jamaican me crazy. I apologize.
Yep,
in-
that's about.
In a lighter note, Monica was in a thing this weekend.
I was.
Monica was in Clue, the movie, the play.
Just pretty much. And just a quick show of hands, who actually watched? Okay. Oh yeah. Ah.
Sorry.
so did Chris.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys
I was
so much.
distracted.
I was busy all weekend.
You're valid. You're valid. But yeah, tell me your thoughts. I am very curious.
So, I just want to say, first off, I thought you were probably one of the better actors in that whole thing. Just because you felt just so much more natural in front of the camera in that kind of setting than anyone else.
Yeah.
Like there were a couple times where a couple of them were kind of just like, it felt really awkward, really stiff. But I felt like you were really natural, really loose the entire time. And I was kind of like, I'm vibing that. I feel that.
Do you think this podcast had to do with that? Just being on camera a decent amount.
It is wild. That not only the podcast, but also like I'd never done on-camera stuff prior to COVID. But I was talking about last week. I had done a few other stuff, and definitely have learned and picked up from that.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
I also did enjoy that Nat was credited at the very end.
I saw that moment. I'm like, oh, that's probably Nat.
Was it like Hansy McGrabby or something?
Probably.
Yeah, I requested. So just to clue in here, obviously, what we did with the show is that we filmed it via Zoom,
Right.
and there are some and there are some physical parts of the show, like where characters like interact with each other, push each other, and touch each other. And we've had to find, and obviously the deaths. So we've had to find workarounds, and my workaround for my more physical scenes were Nat's hands. And I requested
Nat.
that he be credited as Hansy McGee.
That's pretty great.
Hansy McGee. No, I thought it was good. It was very entertaining. And I did like how Miss Peacock just got drunker and drunker. Does Miss Peacock have a drinking problem?
Took a fucking turn at some point.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Mr. Green took a fucking turn at one point.
Wait, have you ever seen the film Cow Depressed Whale? Okay. I can't.
I don't even know what you're referencing.
Freeze!
I know
I'm
what
a
you're
cop.
referencing.
How deep cut, Kevin.
It is. It's a deeper film cut reference. Essentially, it's a depressed whale and a fish talking, and then like the whale turns out to be like mugging the fish, and then the fish is like, "Oh, I'm not some average person. I'm a cop," and he pulls out like a gun all of a sudden. and I got some vibes like that out of Mr. Green.
Yeah.
Maybe we can work out a deal.
Under the table. I would really appreciate that.
Except
You know what
I'm
they-
also an undercover cop.
No, I'm an undercover investigator, looking through police corruption. Oh yeah, well I've got a surprise for you. I'm just fry cook at Denny's.
It was a sting operation. Some sting. 6 people died on your watch.
Yeah, that was a terrible operation. Did actually 6 people die in that thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess they all pretty much died. Everybody
Yeah,
died.
6. My character counted.
Yes,
I
but
count a lot.
you did it. You survived. Good job.
I did survive. I got arrested, but I survived.
You survived. Good job. Is that actually how Clue the movie goes, by the way? I don't remember.
So here's the thing.
Doesn't it have like multiple
yes,
versions?
yeah, because when the theatrical version of Clue released, they released multiple versions with different endings. So when you watch it on video now, it shows all the endings. But if you went to see it in theaters,
Was it random?
I don't know how it worked, but because theaters can have multiple theaters worth of showing. So like,
Mhm.
say there's 3 showings of Clue, and it has ending A, B, and C. And like, I go to showing A, and you go to showing B, but Ryan goes to showing C, and we come back like, yeah, and the ending was really weird. So we're all just, so there's that added layer of what? And the ending of the adapted version makes an allusion to that with the way of the
Right.
they return to their original position.
Yeah, because I think I only saw it on TV once, and it had a lot of stuff just mashed together.
I
Yeah.
saw it because one of our high school dances was themed Clue.
Ooh.
So we watched it at some like event.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Well, it
Steve
was
and I
fun.
watched Clue in college, and we drank along with it.
Oh, of course.
Also, fun fact I found out today while watching my cousin Vinny, same director.
Nice.
Jonathan Lynn was the director for the Clue movie.
Jonathan Lynn.
Tim Curry chewed the scenery, as I remember.
Yeah, our Wadsworth
Colonel
also
Mustard.
chewed the scenery. And that was the fun thing too about it is like our Colonel Mustard, he's in Cincinnati. Like, he's
Oh,
not
he was
even
far
local.
away.
Yeah, he was far away, so there was a lot of having to mail him all of his props and costumes and whatnot.
He also did a pretty good job, I think.
Yeah,
If I remember correctly.
he was wonderful. He Nat made the comment when he watched it. He's like, he constantly looks like he's smelling a fart.
Little bit. I do recognize that. So yeah, good job. That was very good, Monica. Thank you for being here, and thanks for taking all the time off the podcast.
Hey,
And that brings us to our next segment. Last week we talked about starting Media Club, which will be a new weekly segment to the podcast. It's essentially going to be we're going to be watching a show together, either a show, a movie, an anime, something, until we pretty much finish it. Just kind of like little bits at a time, and then we're all going to discuss it, kind of like a book club. So we decided that for this week, we are talking about Invincible. So if you have not seen Invincible episodes 1 and 2, now would be a good time to tune out for 10, 20 minutes.
Yo, hey, Trumpet Steve, you watching? Media Club graphic? Please and thank you.
Just use my graphic, but like put like an NBC logo over it or
No,
something.
we need to put like all of our faces on it.
How about shit we watched?
I'm not gonna ask for anything, but like if Steve
I
wants to
am.
do
We
that.
are.
Shitty clip art.
We will.
We gotta come up with a better name for this segment because Media Club is lame as fuck.
I like Media Club.
It's.
Thank you for the follow.
People
Oh, I'm
do.
gonna
I think
hold on.
it's
I'm gonna butcher this name. Hold on. Sured Sensei. Sensei.
What?
What's the first word though? Sir
What are you
Spell it.
looking at?
I
What are we
completely missed
talking about
it.
here?
Surd
Spell it.
Sensei. Surd Sensei.
Spell it. Spell it.
CEREDSENSIE.
Oh,
Hello.
there it is. That just popped up. That was weird.
Thanks for the follow. Appreciated.
Oh, that's, I just got the,
Yes, Red Sensei.
okay, we're talking about a user. I'm like, who are you
Yeah.
referencing in Invincible?
It's like, Kevin, are you having a stroke? Do you smell
Little bit.
almonds?
Little bit. Also, I don't know why that
Smell
didn't.
like copper.
I don't know why my sound didn't go off for that. That was really weird.
I didn't see a graphic pop off either.
The graphic
the
the graphic popped off, but the sound never happened. Oh well.
Oh.
We're professional.
Yes. So we're
not.
talking about Invincible
Fuck
episodes
off.
1 and 2. So spoilers if you haven't seen Invincible episodes 1 and 2 yet, but we're just talking about 1 and 2. We've not watched any further. I'm not supposed to watch further. Media Club's a great name,
I've read the
Steve.
comics, so, but
Oh.
Yeah, that was something. I didn't realize it was based off of an actual comic. I thought it was.
Which I have to bring something up. I don't think it went down exactly as it did in the comics because the end of the fight at the end of episode 1, I remember that being much more one-sided.
What do you mean? What? It was already very one-sided.
It was
Well, no,
even more one-sided in the comics.
So like
They-
Omni-Man didn't get hurt at all.
That's what I remember. I'm gonna have to go back and read it to confirm it. I'm sure I can find it somewhere. I won't do it right now, but
Gotcha.
that's just what I remember.
Actually,
Yeah.
I actually watched.
Because I don't remember Omni-Man ending up in the hospital. I again might be wrong. It's been like 10 years since I read the comics.
I actually walked past the comic book shop today, and they had like a volume of Invincible in the window, like showing it off. Like,
I think it's
Oh.
still being published, or at least it was like a couple years ago when I got caught up.
no, is it?
Is he in the Marvel universe? Because I know he's done a crossover
No,
with
it's
Spider-Man.
Image Comics.
It's
He's
Image
done a
Comics.
crossover with Spider-Man, though, I think, though.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not in that. He's not in DC or Marvel. Image is its own thing.
Gotcha.
Very much smaller than DC and Marvel.
It ran until 2018.
Oh, okay.
So just recently finished.
Yeah.
Oh, quick question. I just happened. So there's only 8 episodes out now. Is it actively releasing?
They announced seasons 2 and 3 were in
No,
production.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is,
it's
season 1 only 8 episodes.
It's only
Yeah,
8
it's done.
episodes.
Okay, that was my question.
I believe they were releasing it weekly.
Yes, it was like a weekly show, but it's just what the first season's finished.
Okay.
And now it's just
Neato.
done.
Okay.
But yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just gonna talk. So let's talk about episode 1 first. Episode 1. So, and I mean, I
What
guess.
about that guy's kid?
Well, so I guess for context, Mike,
go ahead.
shut up.
Sorry.
Mike, Ryan, Chris, and I all watched it together, because they came over the weekend, and we're sitting there and the episode starts. And
it's like a 5-minute scene.
Well, no, it's not even
these
that.
2 guards talking.
It's not even that. It's just like I had to restart it 5 times because I couldn't hear it. Like I had
audio fixing is.
I had to turn my phone. Me and Vanessa watched. We watched both episodes yesterday on our flights back from California, and I was like, I had to turn this up normally my volume on my earbuds hovers around the mid-range, sometimes a little bit above, but I did turn it way up.
Yeah, well, I've noticed this before with DC animated movies where the balancing between just talking scenes and action scenes is notably different. But this was even more extreme than that.
We had to bump the TV up over the halfway mark to hear them talk.
Yeah.
And then as soon as those blue guys started attacking, it was like, crap, gotta bump the volume all the way down.
Yeah.
So I got a fun fact for you on one of those security guards. One of those voices, John motherfucking Hamm.
Oh, nice.
They wasted
Don't know
John
who that
Hamm on a bit part.
Question.
I don't know who John Hamm
wait.
is.
Yes, you do.
Well, tell me who John Hamm is.
Which one was he? Was he the one with the kid or the other guy?
He was
I'm gonna-
credited as Steve. I don't remember.
I'm
which
gonna
one that
imagine
was.
it's the one that had the backstory and not the one who sounded like he was reading his lines off the paper for the first time.
Mike,
Yeah, probably.
Mike, you saw Baby Driver, right?
Yes.
John Hamm was the villain in the end.
Baby Driver is a good ass movie.
Oh, it's a fantastic
Soundtrack
movie.
slaps.
I don't remember who that was. How do I not remember?
You look
The-
at
the-
Mad Men.
John
Mad
Hamm.
Men is probably the most notable things he's done.
I don't think Mike's watched Mad Men.
But if you've seen any promotional art from Mad Men,
Space before.
he was also in Bridesmaids.
I
As
haven't
a
seen it.
pretty great part.
But
Let's
another thing
see.
I'd like to bring up is that I'll bring it up more as we hit episode 2, I think. But this is a star-studded fucking cast. Half of the cast of The Walking Dead is in this. The
J.K.
suit
Simmons we got.
the J.K. Simmons, the suit making guy is Mark fucking Hamill.
Oh shit, is it?
Yeah.
That tracks.
His mom is
also-
the lady from Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, she's. I was like, I kept seeing Sandra Oh, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, that's probably
that's
the
what it
mom. But I brought this up, I think, last week, but it's worth repeating that initially, before we had watched, committed to watching Invincible, that anytime I'd see pictures of Omni-Man, I'm like, is there some alternate universe of J. Jonah Jameson where he's a hero that I don't know about?
Yes.
Also, apparently, the spoiler we've been getting from that meme, not such a spoiler after all.
Yeah.
Not
So
really.
And then so
don't talk about it. I don't know what
Yeah,
you mean. So
we'll get to that in about 3 weeks.
yeah. So and Chris, I guess, missed the one. They didn't see that spoiler, but and two, they didn't
Know
see
that it was
the.
going to be violent.
They didn't see like the R-rated tag at the beginning, and
Yeah.
to be fair, episode 1 is very tame up until the last 5 minutes.
Until then.
There's like no blood in episode
and-
1, and then all of a sudden there's all the blood.
And they
Yeah.
also psych you out at first because there's like a tiny bit of credits, and then it goes to that scene.
It ends
Yeah.
like 3 times.
Yeah.
They did that in the second episode too, where there's like tiny
Yeah.
credits, then
must be their thing, but like a
but,
post credit
I-
thing.
Like I am not super duper squeamish when it comes to violence, but when he started squeezing that guy's head, I was like, oh no, I
Yeah.
don't.
That's another meme.
Yeah,
Not
that's.
Flash.
I was like, did I walk into an episode of Game of Thrones? Like, what the? Wait, is this the Red Wedding? What the fuck is this?
Well, then
Yeah.
every
But I did not expect it to be that violent.
No, nor did I. I was
Why it was.
very shocked and very confused. And
I knew it was a
unlike-
very violent non-kid show.
I
Yeah.
expect that from like the Harley Quinn show on HBO Max, but like that's they play it for laughs, not
Right.
for like not for shock value. A little bit of both, but like it's more funny than it is traumatizing.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a very traumatizing thing to watch. And what was really funny is just before that scene, Nat had been mentioning like, oh, the Darkwing guy, he voices a character in Destiny 2, and and dead.
Oh yeah, he is on The Walking Dead. He was in the first couple seasons, and I think he's on a spin-off of it right now.
Yeah, his character is called Shax in Destiny, and there's a bit of lore about him where him and this other character fuck, but the helmet stayed on, and that's the first thing he told me about. So anytime he brings up any Destiny lore, I'm just like, the helmet stayed on!
The helmet stays on.
We were also talking. So right before the giant gore scene in episode 1, we were actually talking about like, that's the Aquaman clone. That's the Batman clone. that's the Flash
I
clone.
have that as a note too. Very clear parody of Justice League.
It took
Oh,
me
yeah.
it took me way longer than it should have to realize that the shark guy was the Aquaman clone.
I don't know how you
He's
didn't.
He's not even a shark guy, Mike. Let's be honest here.
He's just a freaky fish guy.
I am not a freaky fish guy.
Finally, some action.
I thought it was kind of funny that they gave us all these dudes' backstories only to just immediately.
Especially the
That is-
Flash.
That is very Game of Thrones of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
It isn't because I knew about all the gore and all that shit going
Mhm.
into it. So
Me too.
I almost wish I didn't, just so I could have gotten that shock value a bit.
Yeah.
I knew that. See, I knew that happened in the comics. I didn't think they'd start out the first fucking episode with that.
Yeah,
You
that
think
was
they'd
going to
build
be.
up-
I was actually talking about this. So, do you remember vaguely in the comics when that happens? I'm going to assume that's not the first issue.
It's a 144 issue comic.
Continue talking. I'll find out.
'Cause I am legitimately curious.
What I was gonna
I'm gonna
say.
imagine no.
What I was gonna say was that I don't know if that's how it happens in the comic. I was a little disappointed with how he got his powers, or like how it was revealed, because like they kind of set him up to be like this angsty teen who's struggling because he hasn't got his powers yet. He's kind of like downtrodden and stuff, and that lasts about 10 minutes, and then like not even maybe like 5 minutes, and he gets his powers.
Yeah.
Like, if it was my decision, it would have been like the entire first episode where he didn't get his powers, and then at the end of the episodes when he got his powers. Like, that would have made more sense to me.
So I'm
It would've
looking at
been
the first. So you can actually read. It looks like you can read at least some of the comics on the Image website. At least you can read the first issue. It looks like it covers like most of the first 2 episodes are in here or in the first issue, with the exception of Omni-Man just fucking shit up.
Yeah,
wasn't in
I
there.
think there was some. I know there was some reorganization because I listened to another podcast where they kind of talked about it, and they said that there was some reorganization of certain plot elements.
Yeah, that's that. I don't know and I don't know if it's just because I've been so far removed from very gory content recently, but I don't know. I did not like that.
That's fair.
I didn't like it, and it didn't make the statement that. And I'm going to talk a little more about this later, but it's like if you're gonna go with like a quirky or a very particular choice, like you gotta have like a good base underneath, and that wasn't enough time to build for that shock value IMO. But that's just
For me, that scene was mostly establishing in this universe that superheroes do not have plot shield or like plot armor.
Yeah.
To me, that scene was kind of saying, hey, anyone can die in this universe. Like here are like the Earth's best heroes, and we just killed them all.
I also read Berserk, so I was not caught off guard by that much.
Oh,
Here's
I
a
wasn't
picture
really
of a
either.
demon drinking blood from a baby
Oh, lovely.
in the first chapter.
delightful.
Lovely.
Yeah,
Delicious.
they changed. Like, I'm just looking through the comics right now, just refreshing my memory, and they changed a lot of stuff for the show. Like,
Well, that's to be expected.
there's a
kind
whole
of.
like bombing plot line that I'm kind of scanning through right now.
Well, that could show
well,
up later.
yeah, don't say anything because that might show up later.
I'm not going to, but it's actually a really, if I remember correctly, it's a really good plot line. So I'm up to like issue. I think I just went through the first trade paperback. And Omni-Man still hasn't murdered the, which I think is like the first 4 or 5 issues, and Omni-Man still hasn't murdered the
Global.
Guardians of the Globe, the Justice League ripoffs.
Yeah, the not Justice League.
Yeah, the not
So
Justice League.
I think
it comes. I would wager it's in the second one though. If I had to bet money on it, I'm not gonna go. What the hell?
that is good to know. Is there any other thoughts before we move to episode 2? Because I think we covered episode 1.
Other
first
than I think
episode-
we go ahead, Mike. I think you're about to say
I will
what I'm
say the
about to
first
say.
episode, just in general, was very plot world building heavy,
Well,
and it didn't
Yeah.
leave a lot of room for
Character.
characterization.
Yeah, we talked about that on Twitter.
Yeah, which was the exact opposite of the second episode.
Right, agree.
True. Yeah, episode 2, which we can talk about now, was definitely more of like, Mark learning how to use his powers, stuff like that, like learning what it means to be a superhero.
Which is not in the comics, interestingly enough.
I loved episode 2. Episode 2 was great.
I'm not. I'm just.
Great.
Episode 2 was very good. I really liked the villain or the concept of the villains in episode 2.
Oh, they come from a...
That was an
Yeah.
awesome concept.
yeah,
the
that is good.
The
It's a-
time stream doesn't work. Straight from the comics. Though I think they spent more time with them than the comics did, which is kind of cool.
Well, but then I also have the comment where it's like, how they do that all in 3 days? Like 3 days for us, but decades for them.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, ooh, interesting.
more
That's a
all-
really cool idea.
More all-star
Yeah.
voice cast. Give me a second.
Who's Robot?
Robot is motherfucking Spock. Shockingly,
What?
Zachary Quinto.
It's Zachary
Oh, new
Quinto?
Spock, okay.
Yeah, it can't be
Mike,
old
Mike.
Spock. Old Spock's...
I was
That's
about
why
to
I
say,
got
I'm like-
confused. That's why I got confused.
No. It's Leonard Nimoy.
So, also, wait, John Hamm's credit is Steve again. Now I'm confused.
Oh,
Anyway.
Steve must be the one with the sun then.
Hold on, I'm.
Was he in
Because-
episode 2 too?
Yeah,
Hold
because
on,
right at the beginning they're in London and then they rain the hamburger meat and then they.
Oh, that's
chew
Steve
all the
again?
gut.
Oh, that's right! I
And
didn't
I'm
realize
just
that
like-
either!
I'm like, y'all are a bunch of dicks
I
for
didn't even
doing
catch
that.
And then that's why he's like, you called me dad. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right! Oh, that's such a... That moment
By the
means
way,
so
I-
much
I
more
like
now.
Catch that? How did I not catch that?
It's so good.
By the way, I looked it up while we were talking. Baby Driver is the only movie I would have seen John Hamm in.
That's fair.
Out of
fair.
the
It's a good
dozens of
one.
movies he's been
Nat
in,
has-
that's the only one I've seen.
That has a Baby Driver jacket.
Oh, nice.
It's a dope
Oh,
gag.
just a quick aside. Edgar Wright has a new horror movie coming out.
Yes, I shared it in Twitter. I am so excited for that.
Yes, that looks fun.
I saw the
Um,
trailer and I'm like, ooh,
It's like almost like a time travel horror.
it's a
movie.
time. That's exactly what it is. It's a time traveling ghost essentially, is what it
Mhm.
seems like it is, and I'm there for it.
Neat.
I also just love like everything
What
Edgar
is it?
Wright
Long
does.
Night in Soho, I think, or something.
Yeah, One Night in Soho, I think,
One Night
Yeah.
in Soho.
Okay, so more.
or is it Last
All-Star-
Night?
So, so the guy who plays the Explodey guy, Rexplode, Jason
Motherfucker.
Jason Mantzoukas, you know him from.
I've heard that name before. Yes.
He's on Parks and Rec. He was on Parks and Rec as a bit character as the perfume sales guy.
I can't fucking stand Rex. But
It is
anyway,
Last
go
Night
on.
in Soho.
no.
I hate him and also like him. I'm so mixed on him.
I completely
No.
agree.
Oh no, he's.
I
he's
mostly
that's
hate
the
him
whole-
right
That's
now.
the whole point.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
He's
for
a
his character. He's
massive
dick.
dick.
Because he's supposed to be the dick that's with the girl he likes. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little. Okay, here's the thing about Invincible. I like Invincible. Don't get me wrong.
It still has comic tropes. Yes.
It has some pretty severe comic tropes.
Big ones.
But Jason Mantzoukas voices him. Alan the alien, the pink guy with one eye that Invincible fights towards the end.
Oh, hey,
I
I'm
love
Alan.
him.
I'm Alan.
Seth Rogen.
Seth
Oh.
Rogen.
Oh, that is Seth
Motherfucking
Rogen.
Rogen.
that's
I love Alan.
I did love that little bit where it's
He
like,
sits him
oh,
down
don't
like-
fight him.
He's like, hi,
Urath?
I'm Alan.
Urath? This is Earth.
Oh.
No.
You mean
Oh.
with a U? No, with an E. Oh. Oh my god, I'm in
Oh.
so much trouble.
Well, assuming I don't get fired, I'll see you later.
The voice actor for
So good.
the demon detective guy is Clancy Brown. He's not super well known, but
Okay.
he's like a big name voice. He's like
Fucking love that character.
Heard
he-
that before.
He's in just about everything. He's done a few live action stuff. I think he was a general on like the first couple seasons of The Flash.
I know I've heard that name. No, Clancy Brown is Mr. Krabs, right?
You are. Oh yeah, definitely.
That's
Didn't even
why.
catch that.
Oh.
Yeah, Clancy Brown is Mr. Krabs.
Fucking love that character. He's like the Question mixed.
Clancy
with
Brown
Hellboy.
is Mr. Krabs.
Let's see. He's in a bunch of other stuff too. He's a big time voice actor. So
it's almost anime like in the way that it just has concepts and it's like, and then there's this thing, and then there's that thing, and then there's this thing. I love it.
But yeah, they got some very big names for this show, including John Hamm as a bit character, like a seemingly recurring bit character.
To be fair, I haven't seen John Hammond much, but he he really shines as bit characters, man.
Oh, I'm not complaining. Yeah, he was on 30 Rock as like Liz's hot but very dumb boyfriend.
He's really good at playing that role.
Yeah.
Going back to Alan though, I really liked that they pitted Mark against him with no context, but the only context being that Omni-Man fought him before, because it starts setting up the mental dichotomy between him and his father, where his dad's just like, I'm just gonna go punch him, but instead Mark's actually like, no, wait a minute.
Let's talk.
What's
for a
going on
sec.
here? So I liked that it was setting
Yeah.
up that difference between the two of them.
What other notes do I have?
The animation, I just want to say, is very sporadic.
I'm 100%. I think I had that down as
Yeah.
a note as well. It's
Yeah.
it's fucking stellar in some cases. Then
In
there's
the
some
action
where it's
scenes.
like, well, there should be a few more frames there, but
Yeah,
Y'all have better eyes than me for that
Yeah.
because I'm just
It
like
wasn't-
this
it
looks. This
it
is in the.
I'm sure there's a better term for this, but there's this thing I call drift, where the item on scene, in particular a character, will just seem to drift across the screen. I caught quite a lot of that, where they're supposed to look like they're walking, but it's just like,
Oh yeah, he is in Thor Ragnarok, Steve. Sorry, I'm a
Moving
bit behind
forward.
there.
Moving forward.
But it wasn't super duper noticeable. But noticeable enough.
I would say the second episode was much better in the
I
animation
agree.
department. It still
Yeah.
had its faults, but the first episode was super rough in a lot of areas.
I like the teen team. I did
Team
note
Team
that,
is fucking great.
Team.
I did note that there's really no similarities. I mean, okay, one I can think of to the Teen Titans, where there's like Cyborg and Robot Man, but
Adam Eve
Robot
looks like is kind of like Starfire in a certain way.
I was gonna say.
I could. You could make that
Redhead,
comparison.
flying superpowers,
Energy beams.
energy beams. Yeah,
Sure.
but that's where they start. Rexplode has got the mouth of Beast Boy, I guess, but
Yeah,
he's more of a dick.
He's more like Gambit, like from X-Men, where I think he charges like objects and like throws them and they fucking explode, which is Gambit's whole thing in X-Men. I just like the wordplay on duplicate.
Oh, I didn't even catch that till now.
Oh,
Wait, what?
I get
Yeah,
duplicate.
I like the wordplay
Yeah.
on duplicate.
Kate.
Yeah, her name's Kate. Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
not get that?
Duplicate.
I didn't
Oh,
get that.
I got
actually.
that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I didn't get that until
Mark's
Steve
got a
just
really
said it.
shitty superhero name.
Yeah, I'm
Invincible.
invincible. Oh wait, that sounds really bad when I say it out
And
loud.
everyone's like, fat.
Doubt. Can we talk about where Omni-Man goes into the fucking portal?
Yeah,
That was fucking
that
awesome.
was. I feel like that scene could have been a little better in terms of conveying Omni-Man as being a fucking prick. Like, because like, if they had shown him, because they only show him really destroying military tech and stuff.
See, here's the thing that I'm still like, I'm not making any judgments on yet because it's very unclear right now whether he's actively aware of his more destructive tendencies or if it is an actual choice. Like when the director of the whatever this CIA is in this universe, or Shield or whatever the
Yeah,
fuck.
what was the name of that agency?
He's got. I don't
Global
know.
Defense Force or something?
I don't know. I'm gonna call it Shield for the sake of simplicity.
Might as well.
Fair enough.
Director Fury with more balls.
And who can teleport?
Who can teleport? But yeah, it's just like the one of the most intriguing thing to me right now is whether Omni-Man is actively in control of his destructive tendencies, whether it's a trick of the powers, catch-22 of the powers, because in the first episode he seemed really like unsure of the fact that Mark actually got his powers and is like as a good thing, I mean, and also in the sense of when he was giving his account to the director, I'm like, is he lying to him or did he legitimately not remember?
Well,
So
I
I never thought of that. That would be an interesting way to approach that.
I'm
sure Steve
don't.
has some
Steve,
spoilers
don't.
that
If you
he's
know
gonna
anything,
not
don't
have.
say anything.
No. So I heard okay. So he has a line in there, where he says to the alien leader guy, "Earth isn't yours to conquer." I heard a line after that, and I heard an unspoken line after that, and I'm wondering if anyone else did too.
yeah,
Not until you suggested it, but
the emphasis
now
on yours
yeah.
is, I think, what you're getting at.
Yeah.
I think it might also.
Why I bring up that question.
I think it might also be like, so they're not immortal, but they live a long time, right? The
Viltrumites, yeah.
Viltrumites, yeah, they live a long time, like Superman kind of thing.
Yeah, like
I think it's,
he's got like the gray streaks and shit like that.
but it's almost like our people to him or other life forms, almost like ants, kind of thing, where it's like you're like you're so much smaller than me that like if I step on you, whatever, who cares? Like you're an ant. Kind of thing where it's not so much maybe he's not such a bad guy, it's more of just he's just desensitized, maybe, I don't know, along
well,
those
that's
lines.
a complicated thing,
What
right?
if Superman wasn't the down home boy scout?
And well, I think that's what Omni-Man is pretty much.
And if
Yeah.
you guys watch The Boys,
No.
No,
if you
I've
like
been meaning
this
to.
show, you might want to watch The Boys.
that is
It's
the
on the
constant
list.
suggestion that I've been getting.
Maybe that's Media Club number 2.
I've
But
already
see,
watched it. So.
I
Oh.
don't like live action gore though.
Oh.
I'm
Yeah,
fine with
you're not-
animated. Yeah, I'm fine with animated gore. I don't like live action gore.
Yeah, you're not gonna
That's
like
fair.
that one then.
Yeah.
That one might.
I
not
know
be
my
good.
parents had been watching through The Boys.
Really?
They made the same comment about. I mean, have you met my father?
Yes, I have met your father. He did. Okay, let me say this: The Boys is extremely gory.
I know. They said they
excessive amount of gore. Like
they've said that. They've also watched through all of Game of Thrones, so
I have now again personally I haven't seen it, but the scene that gets tossed around all the time is that's one of the characters discovers he has super speed, and he basically runs through someone else's girlfriend, bladders
That's
her.
literally the first episode. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's not okay. That scene is actually very mild compared to
Oh, God.
numerous other ones.
Danny?
Like there's no.
That's mild.
It's not as that scene isn't as gory as you think.
I'm
the other
expecting
scenes are
blood pinata.
Like,
Was it blood pinata?
No, kinda, but not really.
Like anime blood pinata.
More like most of her was turned into mist,
Missed. Okay.
red mist. But
oh,
yes.
it's a cat.
Danny.
It's a cat. It's kitty.
I thought you were about to be
Abby?
like, oh, she exploded. Oh.
No.
An app.
Does anyone have any ending thoughts about Invincible?
Oh,
I
think
do
some.
have
Hold on.
I do have one thought. I liked the connective idea of the old woman that Mark saves in the second episode.
Yeah.
Just that
Yeah.
constant, like they keep coming back to it. It really grounded the character emotionally.
Yeah, and
Really
It's
got
just
me
like,
invested.
fuck, you can't save everyone.
Well,
you know?
it also
Yeah.
goes back to him learning what it's like to really be a hero. Like, you know, he saw
Yeah.
it was almost like a fantasy for him because he saw his dad doing all the cool shit, but he like
Yes.
never knew about the
Or-
behind
or
the
how-
scenes.
Or how
and also-
Omni-Man just like brushed it off. Like,
I was about
let
to
him
say
talk.
that. Yes, about how the Omni-Man's just
You'll get used to
completely unemotional about it.
Yeah, you'll get used to it. Come on, let's get some real food. Is what he actually says. Those are the
Yeah.
like word for word lines. So yeah, Invincible episodes 1 and 2, very good, very good.
If you
we'll-
want to watch it, and if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it on Amazon Video. I don't, so I torrent it because Amazon fucked me. I'm sure there's a podcast topic in the
Yes.
previous. Yes.
There is. You talked about it.
I've also started a list in my notebook here of predictions you guys make that I think are right in the nose, and we'll address them as
As we go.
as we get there. So
Okay.
again, I haven't watched this for years. I haven't read it for a couple years now, but I'm relatively familiar with everything that goes on. So
Nice. I liked it. We'll be watching episodes 2 and 3 this week,
Or
we'll
3
be
and 4.
3 and 4, and we'll be
Yeah.
discussing them next week. So if you want to keep up with us, make sure you watch episodes 3 and 4 for next week. That ends the spoiler part of the podcast. Actually, no, we're starting another spoiler part of the podcast for Soul Eater this time.
Different spoilers, but-
Different
It's
spoilers.
over a decade old. It's fine.
Monica,
I'm
we
so
talk.
excited.
Yeah, Monica.
When is it okay to talk about spoilers?
that's last week.
Monica.
My thing is, if it's over 5 years old, it's fine. You should have been watching it.
Anyway,
I'm not gonna lie. I was a little sad that you weren't on for that particular topic because for someone who consumes as much media as you, that your take was one I was very interested to hear. So thank you for that. But anyway, hi. I finished Soul Eater.
I'm so excited to hear this.
See, here's my thing. I hated 2/3 of the main protagonist.
Fair.
like
Deal breaker. I understand that.
I loved Maka, and every time they showed parts of Maka's arc, I love that. Kid Kid kind of grew on me. I started off in like he's annoying, but it's fine. I can't fucking stand Black Star. I'm sorry, Kevin.
Nope,
I'm
I'm-
sorry.
No,
No,
I
no,
like
No,
Kid.
Kevin's the Death the Kid stand.
I'm a Kid
Oh, wait.
stan. Please, I
Okay.
want to cosplay Kid one day.
Yeah.
Black Star is terrible, and I.
No,
100%
and there
believe
was
you.
something you guys were saying.
If I speak and say that Death the Kid is my least favorite.
I don't care.
That is certainly a take. That is a hot take.
Yeah, I can see that honestly, but yeah, I didn't enjoy it as much because like I said, I when you like only and have emotional attachment to a third of the main characters,
Right.
like
If I'm being honest, when I first watched the anime, I don't think I particularly cared for them either. I was like 100% in on Maka and Soul. So
I ship it
But-
super hard.
I don't
But
ship it
real-
honestly. Like they're dynamic.
Fair enough.
No, I ship it. But real talk,
Read the
Monica.
manga.
Monica, tell me what you thought about Bravery Punch.
Bravery Punch.
Bravery Punch, Monica. Tell me what you thought about Bravery Punch.
Honestly, I chalked that up to the power of friendship.
Yeah.
So
and it just
bad.
makes me
Anime
nearly
original
as
ending.
mad.
So bad.
As some
Bad.
other thing, like you know what? In all honesty, hot take, I kind of liked it. Like, because here's why. Because all the time they're
Can I
building.
hide now?
I mean, y'all can hate me, but they're building up like, oh, Genie Hunter's the only thing that can stop her.
You have to look at the stream. Oh, you missed it.
What I miss?
I've been just doing a bunch of gifs.
Kevin said the border.
I just caught the end of it.
Wait, which
I'm
one?
Homer right now.
The Homer Simpson gif of him like into the bushes.
Bring the
Yep.
fire back.
The
I don't know,
fire.
because for me, it was like the entire time they're building up like, oh, Genie Hunter is the thing that's gonna stop the Kishin, and the fact that it doesn't, I'm like, oh, interesting. And then it's like, okay, they're going with the power of friendship, but I certainly didn't expect that, and that made it more.
Again, my first time watching it, I didn't hate it that much. Disliked it a little more the second time, a little more the third time. I even to this day, I don't hate it as much as the rest of them do.
That's fair. Hold on.
Maybe because
I
you
gotta-
have closure because you've actually read the manga ending.
Haha, yeah.
I'm working on it. I'm
And
getting
many
there.
Dochins.
Yeah, I'm getting on. I'm reading through the manga now.
Are you now?
Yes, I've reached the part where they're at the dance and they just fell through the floor.
How's the salsa table?
The what? No, Mike, you saw they were in a bookshelf. They're in the bookshelf now, Mike. You saw.
I didn't actually. They were still on the floor when I got there.
No, but then they were moved to the bookshelf. They're in the bookshelf.
No, they weren't
Nope.
at all.
Chris moved
Anyway,
them.
I still maintain,
Like legitimately, Chris moved them while you were there.
I still maintain that Tsubaki should have died during the Masamune episode, because I feel like that would have been a better arc for Black Star. Because y'all made a comment last week about oh, it's because she knows him, but it's, the more I thought about it, I'm like, well, no, because Soul knows with any good partnership, you gotta know when to push them and when to back off. You gotta know that dynamic, and I feel like Soul and Maka have that dynamic. I feel like Liz and Kid have that dynamic, especially with Liz and Kid, because it's like Kid can be insufferable when he's got in his OCD phrase, and Liz knows the point of when to push him and when to pull him out, or when to be like, I'm not gonna deal with that. So I still maintain.
Sorry, go ahead.
Manga.
The Masamune episode in particular, though, I felt like that was not as much of like Tsubaki being there for Black Star. That was more of Black Star being there for Tsubaki.
Yes.
Kind of like he knew what she needed to do thing, and that's why he sat there and just like took beating after beating to make sure that she could have closure and finish what she started, kind of thing. So I feel like that's why that was important.
I haven't gotten a single iota that Black Star actually cares about anyone. Like they tell me, they show me these things. He says these lines, but I'm like, I'm not convinced.
But he literally sits there and like gets beaten on the head like 100 times to make sure that she stays safe in the sword. I don't know. I think that's kind of all the proof in the pudding you need. I mean,
Soul Eater has a lot of my favorite anime staff attached to it. Takuya Igarashi's the director, same director as Oran High School Host Club.
I do love Oran High School.
Yes. Do you think it'll ever get a Brotherhood treatment?
Probably not. It has not sold nearly as well as Full Metal Alchemist manga wise. So
and Soul Eater probably didn't help.
Yeah. But
Soul Eater, how about we not?
Yeah. The soundtrack. What else? The soundtrack was by Taku Iwasaki, same composer as Gurren Lagann.
Soundtrack was pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, but overall, I feel like its strongest moments are when they let Maka shine, and in the back half of the anime, when the Kishin is awoken, they kind of step away from Maka, and to me, that's kind of where it fell apart to me. But that's also because Maka was the one whose story I was most interested in, and when they did focus on her, it was great. Like, God, the one episode where Krona tries to go after Medusa all by himself, and she finds him in the desert, and he's saying all this self-deprecating stuff about himself, and she punches him, and she's like, "Stop it, you're hurting my friend." And I'm just like, oh, that hits a little too close to home.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike.
I don't want to keep making excuses because that's what they are, excuses, but a lot of Black Star and Kid's big meaty development comes in the manga, so I could understand a lot of what you're feeling. So
and correct me if I'm wrong, but shortly after the Kishin is resurrected, that's where they split off from the manga, right?
The split from the manga starts with baby Medusa.
And that's shortly after
the anime. They just let her go, and a bunch of other stuff happens. In the manga, they say you can go free, but you have to lead Maka's group inside Arachne's castle and kill her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so it follows It follows pretty close then or not pretty close.
Yeah,
but
I
it
think
follows
there's like
the manga to that point.
There's like 8 to 10 episodes, I think, that are anime original.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
So I read I live messaged my reaction to like back in 2018 when I watched this. I'd like to read my reaction here. Unfortunately, some of the messages are not available because Ryan got himself banned for literally no reason. Literally no reason. So I started off with, is this really how they're going to end Soul Eater? I'm not done yet, but what? Mike, all caps. Oh boy, here we go. Message unavailable with three likes on it. So
that would probably be Bravery Punch.
No, my message, all caps. The power of bravery. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that's probably.
I remember this.
Mike, all caps. Feel the existential terror. And here's me, not all caps. It says, "This is the most cop-out ass bullshit. I could have bought that if they'd been teaching a moral this whole time, but the rest of the show is all, let's hit all caps. Let's hit things till they don't move. So this feels really forced. I would have been happy if it with a well-choreographed fight with the main characters, but no." Okay, here we go. She takes down. There's some more, but she takes down the god of insanity by confusing this shit out of him and punching him in the fucking face. What the fuck?
I mean, again, I'm not nearly as mad about it. Like, when you say it's a cop-out ending, it's like, yeah, but also, I feel like, when they defeated Medusa with Genie Hunter was a cop-out as well, so.
I don't even remember what that means anymore.
I just remembered so you know how at some point Kid fights this weird clown robot?
Yeah.
So that was actually Maka's fight in the manga,
Oh.
and it was fucking terrifying.
I mean, it still was kind of
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
I do like the
And
ramifications
also-
of that fight, though.
Yes.
I
And also,
really
the Book
need
of
to rewatch
Avon
the
is an
later.
actual book in the manga. There is no walking city.
Yeah, and like I definitely didn't hate it as much as I hated like Gurren Lagann. But
Wait, did you actually finish Gurren Lagann?
I did.
I haven't finished it yet. I haven't finished it yet. Don't talk.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember don't remember much to even spoil you, Kevin. So it's
Gurren
fine.
Lagann is just so utterly absurd. You have to laugh at it just because, like, at the end, it's just like the proportions
No.
are just so ridiculous. I'm just like, this is dumb, but in all the best ways.
I didn't hate it nearly as much as I hated Gurren Lagann, which I think is my least favorite thing that I've watched since I've been on my big anime streak. But it definitely.
You love Kill la Kill, right?
I did love Kill la Kill.
Which is weird because that's the exact same people who
weird.
did that one.
It's literally the exact same people.
Just because it's the exact same people doesn't mean that they're gonna produce the exact same quality of story.
Yeah, that's fair.
True.
So not that
Also,
weird.
one tackles mecha tropes, the other tackles magical girl tropes.
Yeah.
And clothes.
And
And
clothes.
clothes. And incest
clothes.
But
yeah.
but it was equal opportunity nudity for everyone.
That is true.
Cool opportunity nudity.
Equal opportunity nudity.
With weird horny hot teacher.
I want my Gamagori butt. Give it.
Yes, thank you.
Anyways,
Anyway, we're getting off track, but overall, Soul Eater is kind of a meh for me. A net meh.
We're all on
And
the same
I
page
really
there,
wish the one swordsman actually killed Blackstar. Oops.
think. Don't we all?
That is actually another thing that's different between the anime and manga.
don't tell me that
I-
yet. Did I already see that?
You probably haven't read it yet.
Okay. Anyways,
Do you care?
Anyways, we'll
Yes,
talk
I
about
do.
that
I
before
do care.
spoilers.
Okay.
it's time for Sports Corner.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Da 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 da.
Oh, Nintendo copyright strike.
Oh man,
Rip us.
stay hydrated. Before I
Hydro
do
homies.
anything, the kill wall for
Kill
teams
wall?
that have been eliminated in the playoffs so far in between
Oh.
Nice,
podcasts.
nice.
We got Edmonton, who was finally swept last night by the Winnipeg Jets. St. Louis
Look at the
Blues swept
production value.
by the Colorado Avalanche, and Washington Capitals losing their series 4-1 to the Boston Bruins. I wanted to do something even more funny with these. Like, I couldn't find a room that was clean enough because these two teams got swept, and I couldn't figure out a funny way to use the steamed hams photo for the Capitals because I am stealing urinating trees the YouTuber joke of making fun of the Washington Capitals steamed caps and taking it, and it's mine.
So hold on. What was that username?
Urinating tree.
All right then. Just wanted to double check that.
Yep, check him out. He's pretty cool. He's pretty funny with.
He's pretty
his-
swooed.
He is.
That's a smooth guy.
Anyway, last Tuesday night there was a series of false positive COVID tests that were linked to the St. Louis Blues and an unnamed MLB team, which could have affected both teams in their respective sports. More so the Blues, as they were in the playoffs at the time. These reports came out of a lab in California, and the NHL wants an investigation done as to why this happened. Those that tested positive were retested and came back negative and were cleared to play. What?
Sorry, not to interrupt you, but this motherfucker has 465,000 subscribers and gets an average of 300,000 views a video, and he posts like 3 times a week.
Not even.
Oh yeah, maybe a little less, but
It's definitely less. Trust me. Current teammates on the Toronto Maple Leafs, Freddie Anderson and Jack Campbell, both made their NHL debut in 2013 in the same game, where Anderson, then with the Anaheim Ducks, beat Campbell, then with the Dallas Stars 6-3. Jack Campbell also got his first playoff shutout ever with the Maple Leafs tonight. With their Saturday night win over the Montreal Canadiens, the Toronto Maple Leafs finally have a playoff win over Montreal for the first time since 1967.
Damn.
That was the year the Leafs last won the Stanley Cup.
Also, damn.
Winnipeg Jets forward and captain Blake Wheeler made a shot block attempt, which is normal, with his crotch.
Ow.
Woof.
Cups are there for a reason.
Yeah,
Did he block it?
Oh, yeah, he did. When asked about it, he said, "I've got 3 beautiful kids. My wife and I aren't having any more, so what the hell?"
That's not how that works, bro.
No.
Response.
That's not how that works, bro.
Prior to Team Canada's matchup with Latvia in the IIHF World Championship of Hockey, the ambassador of Canada told Latvia, "Losing is never fun, but if you have to lose a hockey game, then do it on the opening match to the host nation, where the tradition is to bring flowers to the losing team's embassy." Latvia proceeded to shut out Canada.
Yeah!
And flowers were placed at the steps of the Canadian embassy in Latvia. Also, Canada hasn't won a fucking game in this tournament.
My boys!
What, the Latvians?
Yeah! Well, the Latvians.
Wait. I feel like I'm missing some context here.
Evan is Latvian.
I'm Latvian.
Oh, I was unaware of
And
this.
he has a weird sense of pride about it.
Yeah, because no one knows about Latvia except for Dr. Doom.
That's
And
Latveria.
Canada.
That's
Yeah.
Latveria. It's a made-up country.
How is it not Latvia though? It's like an Eastern European Latveria or something.
La.
My grandpa was like off the boat from Latvia. Anyways.
Yeah, well, my grandparents come from mainstream countries like
I'm
Sweden
glad to-
and Germany.
Ooh.
Gustaman.
Anyways.
Anyway.
Anyways.
Boston Celtics player Kemba Walker wore a jacket prior to a playoff game that had "Don't Tread on Me" on the back. It was essentially the flag design.
Fucking Gadsden flag.
It-
Hate that shit.
When asked about the jacket and its association to far-right politics, he replied that he had no idea what it meant, saying that he liked the colors and the way it looked, and that there was no ulterior motive behind it.
I mean,
Now,
I
okay,
guess.
Now, this is the same guy who started celebrating making a three-pointer when he got rejected by the rim. And he didn't realize it until the ball was already out and play was still going on.
So being a dumb kind of tracks then.
Yes.
Dude's just got style.
One of my coworkers, sorry, slight tangent. One of my coworkers has like one of those like wraparound masks with that, except with the Gadsden flag on, except it says "Don't cough on me." So I was just like, fair enough.
All right, that's acceptable.
That's tasteful.
Please tread on me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, weird political aside, but when I see the Gadsden flag and the thin blue line on someone next to each other on a car, I'm like, you're doing it wrong, my man. That's not how that works.
Those are the people who are treading on you. Spoiler alert.
And then they have the fucking Punisher logo too. I'm like, oh my god, you just missed the point entirely.
If that ever comes up again, I have opinions.
Anyway, sports.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We are barely 2 months into the MLB season. We already have 6 no-hitters.
Oh yeah, I heard about this from my dad.
Even weirder that all 6 no-hitters have come against 3 teams. 2 each. The Rangers, the Mariners, and the Indians.
Hot damn.
They're still called the Indians?
Yes, apparently.
That's not changing. No one cares enough about baseball.
And no
Except for
one cares about Cleveland in baseball, apparently.
Steve, I don't have treats for Danny here, but I'll pick her up and give her pets,
good
though.
scritch.
Okay,
I just
that
was.
is acceptable.
With the Los Angeles Dodgers playing the Houston Trash Cans tonight, Dodger fans flooded this in an entire section and have chanted nothing but cheaters the whole time.
Wow, they're still going, huh?
Big dick energy.
Wait, so sorry, why were they chanting cheaters again? Remind me.
The
Because-
Houston Astros.
Were caught stealing signs so
Isn't
that the
that
bet.
like years ago?
Nope. Well, yeah.
About 3 years ago?
2017.
Yeah,
Oh,
4 years ago. But
But-
yeah,
I thought it was longer ago than that. Fair
baseball fans don't forget.
Yeah.
enough.
Ask the Cubs.
Georgetown University may have had their commencement ceremony at Nationals Park in Washington D.C., but that didn't stop Nationals pitcher Max Scherzer from getting some work in while in the outfield during the ceremony.
That's goofy.
The minor league baseball team, the Myrtle Beach Pelicans, have beer bats. They're beer glasses the size of a bat.
Jesus.
That seems dangerous.
Yeah.
The Iowa Cubs retweeted the photo saying 200 retweets and we'll make it happen. Last I checked on Thursday, they had over 1,600.
Damn.
I don't think they understand how Twitter works.
Or it's just like the one meme of the one like and I'll go off the rails, and then there's the dude
say
who
no
likes
more.
to jump.
Say no more.
I feel like it was one of those situations, but go on.
Yeah, I was going to say
One
this
like-
is something they were already doing. They just wanted to get some social media clout while they were doing it.
Yeah.
The first person to like this is gay. I gotta tell you guys something. Northwestern and the University of Nebraska will open the 2022 college football season in Dublin, which is the NCAA football equivalent of the NFL, having the Jacksonville Jaguars play some not big franchise in England every year.
Portals. Sorry.
Tennis player Yannick Sinner, after getting smacked around in the first set of a recent tennis match, took a bathroom break and was given an unsportsmanlike conduct warning for not actually going to the bathroom.
Okay.
And the
P-shy.
teacher gives you a hall pass to the bathroom, and then someone catches you not going to the bathroom.
P-shy kind of sounds like Kevin and pooping.
What?
Your poop
He
shot.
poops fine. He just takes a long time.
What's wrong with you? What are you even talking about?
Why would you do that?
What are you talking about, Ethan?
Why would you do that?
I mean, Danny, you're fighting
Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver McCole Hardman, Vegas Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs, Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers linebacker Devin White did a 40-yard dash. Devin White, a linebacker weighing 240 pounds, ran a 4.3. Wide receivers run that fast.
Oof.
He's a beefy boy and strong like bull.
Like
At,
cheat.
at his NFL Combine day, he ran a 4.4, which was the second fastest time by a player who was not a wide receiver, a defensive back, or a running back.
Wow.
Imagine Fat Ryan, and Fat Ryan was 250 pounds, coming at you that fast. That's how fast this guy can run.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, bet.
I kind of want to try and do a 40-yard dash just to see what I get. Washington football team quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick has the chance to become the only quarterback in NFL history to lose to 31 different teams over one's career. He hasn't lost. He has not lost to Green Bay, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, or Detroit. Washington plays all four plays all of those, but Detroit next season.
Oh boy.
random question: is RJ3 still with them?
RG3, no, he's in Baltimore.
Oh,
He's been out of Washington for a while.
don't care.
And finally, I mentioned on a previous Sports Corner forever ago, I'd like to make an update. The University of Nebraska basketball team has never won an NCAA tournament game in school history. 218 programs have at least one win in the tournament. The update comes with the ISU mention I added. Not only does ISU have more wins than Nebraska in the tournament, but every single team in the Missouri Valley Conference has at least one win, including former teams of the conference, one of which is also located in Nebraska.
Nice. Okay, so since I missed I don't know when this was exactly, so it might have been on last week's podcast. Did you cover the pitching thing last week? Home run on the
The unwritten rule.
yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Okay, I couldn't remember where that was. So
Fuck the unwritten rules.
yeah, I talked to my dad about that today. He's like, "Fuck them, let them hit the ball."
I think my words were maybe you shouldn't put out a 300-pound first baseman throwing 45-mile-an-hour meatballs when you want to get the game over with.
Yeah, it's like, you don't fucking that's some bullshit about professional sports is when they just stop trying because
They're
money.
losing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, how was California?
It was great. Didn't really get to do a whole lot of sightseeing this time as we were just there looking at venues because I know you guys know, I don't know how many our viewers know, we are having 2 weddings basically at this point. Real weddings here in Illinois with the ceremony and shit, and then a reception in California for the Vanessa's family, which who cannot or don't want to fly out for that one, completely understandable. So we were basically out scouting locations all weekend. We did a Chinese buffet, which was very tasty. It was like real like legit Chinese Chinese like restaurant like with we're like I haven't actually been to a Chinese place like that before, which is pretty cool because in case you don't know, Vanessa is half Chinese, so that kind of checks.
I did not know that.
That's new to me.
No, she Vanessa likes to refer to herself as ethnically ambiguous because when we like on our first date, I like prior to our first date, I thought she was Latina, but like she's like, so I think I asked and she was like, no, I'm half Chinese. Like, oh, I see it. But shockingly, that didn't nuke my chances.
I was about to say.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Oh, right. So then we did 5 fucking locations on Friday. So we flew in on Friday, and then Saturday we did 5 fucking locations. One was like all the way in the hills of like Oakland, and we were just like we got lost like twice on the way there. And as nice as it looked, we're just like, no, this is too much, too far, too many hills, like 45-degree hills going up to it. It's like,
I mean, if you got lost twice, I'm pretty sure that's a good sign that maybe you shouldn't.
with the GPS.
Ooh.
But
if we can't find it, how is everyone else gonna find it?
It was crazy. Like I just like look at like Illinois, here in Illinois, everything's fucking flat, and then these insane people in California built a city on a fucking hill, and I'm just like, what is wrong with you people? Let's see. We did like a what I thought would have been cool was like a boat tour. What would have been like a boat tour of the harbor, or not the harbor, the bay. But we kind of calculated it out. It would have been like $10,000 more expensive than like everything else. We were just like, maybe not. As cool as that would have been, like for like a nighttime cruise, like cruising by SF or San Francisco.
Ooh, look at
was
him.
using the California
Logan
Honestly-
using local lingo.
Honestly, I'm not.
Don't call it
That might
Frisco.
actually. No, do not call it Frisco. That will make you look like a tourist immediately. In fact, I'm not even certain calling it SF. I think calling it SF might make me look like a tourist too.
I believe that was actually what was the homeless dude that pretended to be the emperor or something? That was like one. It's American
Excuse me?
history. Emperor Norton. Yeah,
What you're talking about, yeah.
yeah. He was the guy who said that he like made it illegal to refer to San Francisco as Frisco.
It's a terrible name, in all fairness. See, I think so, and then I think there was one or two more, and then one we think we toured like this like golf club / country club, which is definitely like top 2 on our list right now. We haven't like nailed one down. The other one is kind of the former officers club at the former Navy base in Alameda, which is in desperate need of an update, but it would end up being the cheapest, but it would actually involve like some of the most work because we'd have to find our like caterers and decorators and stuff like that, whereas the country club kind of does most of that shit for you. I am deceased.
I just saw Trumpet Steve's concept for the media club image, and I am deceased.
Oh,
All right, I'll have a look. Hold on.
I was trying to be polite and keep it discreet since you were in the middle of telling stories.
where did you get all these pictures?
The more hilarious thing is the picture of me is from chest when I blew dry my hair, and it was like here.
What?
So
what?
You got the original hair going on.
Where's the original image from?
Hold on, I gotta save that for next time.
I hate love it. I
love it. I don't hate it. I love it so much. It's so sweet.
Steve, you have to send me the template of that eventually, so I can change the title every time we change the show.
But basically, we pretty much found our venues. One of Vanessa's aunts flew up from. Oh, Vanessa found her dress.
Ooh.
Yeah. They went dress shopping, and Vanessa. Like I texted her, it's just like, hey, how's dress shopping going? Like 20 minutes later, I finally get a text back. It's like, I found my dress. I cried a little.
Oh.
Yeah, it was.
That's a good sign.
You cried or Vanessa cried?
Vanessa cried. Of happiness. But she, I'm not allowed to see it for another year and a half, so
Yep.
I guess I'll just have to wait in suspense.
You wait there.
You wait.
Wait, just real quick. Steve says my favorite problem I had is I only had one picture of Ryan saved since Facebook got deleted, so I had to use that anytime I needed to use his face.
I should have. There should be some images of me either on Kevin's or Chris's Facebook.
Yeah.
That's true. Anyways, was that it?
Pretty much, other than the fact that connecting flights suck because we had to do it both ways, and both were really rough landings. Because landing in Denver on the way back, going over the Rockies, is great for your stomach, let me tell you. And apparently, landing in Phoenix is also great for your stomach. It's not. Landing in Chicago is fine because there's a fuck ton of nothing in every direction, which is kind of a great contrast because I actually took a picture in Denver of like there's a majestic spread of the Rockies out of a window of the airport, and then Chicago is just like I can't see shit because nothing is tall. It's just flat nothing. Illinois is so boring, geography-wise.
Corn and soy.
You seen Nebraska?
Okay, that's fair.
I was about to say I'm gonna be going to a wedding in Iowa in a few weeks, and there's a whole lot of nothing there too.
Well, it's
Not
basically
college basketball, that's for sure.
It's basically just Illinois. In fact, I think I was in Iowa. No, was I in Iowa?
When I was coming back from Colorado, we had to drive through Nebraska, and I looked. I'm like, wow, Illinois is nice.
But like I am always like a window sitter. I love looking out the window of planes. Like I will happily sit there and just stare out the window for hours.
Real quick, we're running low on time. I'm gonna go to Monica's movie. Sorry, Steve.
Wow, just cut me the fuck off.
You said you were done.
Nah.
You said you were done. You literally said you were done.
Yeah. So anyway, surprisingly, the movie of the week is not Clue because the idea of Monica's movie
What the
of the
fuck?
week is that it's movies I haven't seen before, and I have seen Clue before, albeit it has been a few years. But it is a movie I have seen before. So the movie of the week was The Royal Tenenbaums.
That's Wes Anderson, right?
Correct.
Never heard of it.
I remembered The Royal Tenenbaums very specifically because my parents had the VHS of it, and I just remember the cover art of everybody in the tracksuits, and that was the only thing I saw and knew about it. And for many, many years, and I was just like, oh, that's weird. So when Nat added it to the list, I'm like, oh. But essentially, it's this really quirky family with where all these three children are child prodigies, and the whole family has all these weird little quirks to them, and it takes place in what would have been present time at that point, so like early 2000s, where all of the children have kind of fallen on hard times in some capacity, and the dad also is on hard times and essentially tries to con his way into getting his family back together and trying to win their love back, as well as getting him a place to stay.
I think I was spoiled on how he does that.
Well, and the thing about it is, like, the whole thing with Wes Anderson, if you don't know, is that the whole brand of him is that he's quirky. Like,
Yes.
That's the thing. All of his
Quirky
movies
and
are
awkward.
quirky and awkward, and
Fantastic Mr. Fox was one of his movies. Moonlight Kingdom, I think, was another one.
Correct.
Isle of Dogs. I haven't seen that one, but
I don't think I've ever actually seen a Wes Anderson movie.
Nor have I until this past week. But it was very charming because the thing that makes Royal Tenenbaums so brilliant is the fact that if you strip away all the quirk, it's still some really solid characters that are telling this story. And this is a conversation I want to delve into in a deeper time about protagonist versus the hero. But definitely the protagonist of the story is the father. And to me, that helps frame the entire thing. And the quirks just add to it and help give them that more flavor and development.
So which one is the father? Sorry, I'm just looking at the IMDb page.
Gene Hackman.
Okay.
Gene Hackman. It's got a pretty it's got a lot of well-known people in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Ben Stiller, both Luke and Owen Wilson, Gwyneth Paltrow,
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray's in it.
Morticia Adams, aka Angelica Houston.
Bill Murray's been in a surprising amount of Wes Anderson movies.
I assume they have like a friendship of some kind.
Yeah, he from what Nat says, he tends to use the same people, as do any director when they have their favorites.
Oh, look at you, Tim Burton.
Oh, Danny Glover's in it.
Yeah, Danny Glover's in it, who has a really cute role. But it's really charming, and there's an exorbitant amount of detail with everything in there, even down to the smallest thing. Like, one of the this is a light spoiler, but it's talked about halfway through the movie that the daughter starts smoking at age 12. And one of the IMDb facts I read is that in terms of like the level of detail, the brand of cigarettes she smokes is from Ireland from the 70s that it has been discontinued. So stuff like that level of detail, because one of the motifs is that the children, and by extension almost all of the family members, are kind of trapped in the era of their heyday. Like there's a lot of 70s feel to this movie, which makes you question what era it's in. And when you see gravestones that it's like 2000s, and it's like, oh. But like that type of thing, it's very well built. I think it's funny. Some people are very turned off by quirky stuff. I am here for it. And it was nice and charming.
I think Mr. Fox is the only Wes Anderson movie I've seen, but I really loved that. So I am very interested in seeing more of his catalog of stuff.
Yeah,
I
Royal
want to watch.
Tenenbaum. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I really want to watch, and me and Christine have a movie poster list thing that we're trying to burn through, and I know one of them on there is the Grand Budapest
that was another
Hotel, and I really want to
One
see
of my
that.
friends from around here really loves that one. So
That's really the only Wes Anderson movie I have any kind of like awareness of, really. And
Yeah, that
like
one's also
if I was to go out of my way and say, hey, I want to see a Wes Anderson movie, I've heard of that one. Let's watch that.
you never
Yeah,
saw Fantastic Mr. Fox?
Neither have
No.
I.
Oh, it has George Clooney in it.
Hmm.
It's
Doesn't-
a stop
doesn't do it
motion
for me.
movie.
Yeah, I know what it is, but it just doesn't. George Clooney doesn't sell a movie for me.
No.
George Clooney's
They-
okay.
I know Tenenbaums is on Prime. But it's free with ads, so if you're fine with ads breaking things up,
Oh.
then
You lost me.
that's your prerogative. But it would recommend is good. Is good.
Nice. Who had the topic
Fantastic
about
Mr. Fox is also on Prime.
who had the next topic about tough decisions?
I
Do,
did.
do you
so
care
I'll-
if we save that for next week?
Wah, wah.
Rip.
Just I like the podcast to be 90 minutes, and we're like 20 minutes over that now.
Are we doing something after this?
I was
No.
planning on playing Minecraft, but I guess
I'm
not.
not.
Yeah, tough decisions. Sure, why not? Fuck it.
Tough decisions. We made a decision to not play Minecraft tonight.
No.
Blah, 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 blah.
Well, the tough decision. I brought this up because as you guys know, but viewers may not. One of the gigs that I've been doing the last years has been the Renaissance Fair,
Oh, okay. This tough decision.
and recently they had made an update to, because originally when they announced that they were opening, they had stated that they were going to be requiring masks and whatnot. And then once the CDC made that announcement, they made an announcement about a week ago that stated that they're going to be following those guidelines, and vaccinated people are not required to wear masks. And yeah, and
It is all
and-
outside, to be fair.
yeah, but
And there
Anyway.
are. I mean, and just to play devil's advocate, there are studies that say that people that have the vaccine are now pretty much black holes to the virus.
Right. I don't think that's really what she's getting at.
Yeah,
think
I know.
The more point is that anyone can say, "Oh, I'm vaccinated,"
Yeah.
even though they're not, and actively carrying coronavirus and can come into the fair. There's no way to prove it unless you flash your vaccine card,
Which
even though
the-
it can be fake too.
Yeah,
which
but the whole-
they're not requiring any sort of proof of that.
Yeah, but then my whole counter argument is that, and there is some merit to this, is that if you have the vaccine, there's really no risk to you.
Right.
And that's where the tough decision came from.
Yeah,
is
exactly. I
that-
get it. Yeah, that's where it comes from.
And that's where the tough decision came from, is on the one hand, there is that, but also I felt really uncomfortable with that decision, not to mention in order to not get me in trouble, I'll just say that my particular cast is not in a hot state right now for starting rehearsals in a few weeks. And the communication back and forth since the announcement has been very poor. So I made the tough decision to bow out of this season. Not saying that I can't come back, because they stated that anyone who bows out of 2021 can come back in 2022. But it was a very hard decision that caused me a lot of anxiety to make. So it was something that really took over a lot of my brain space the last week. So I was just wondering, in solidarity, if there's any difficult, like legitimately difficult decision that you guys had to make for the sake of like your mental health or for your personal well-being, or anything like that that you'd be willing to discuss?
Quit my old job, I guess. Just, man, it was mostly financially motivated, to be honest, but it was also like it was a big step because I had worked there for 3 years and I was very comfortable there, but also it had been sold to new owners a few months ago and they were starting to make some changes and I was going to take a pay cut in the area that gave me the most money.
Was that deliveries?
Yes, deliveries. And also that was when I first started paying for my own health insurance. So I was just like, went to my manager. I'm like, I'm out. Ryan got me a job with the place that he worked at. And I made twice as much money basically within 6 months. So
Nice.
There you go.
yeah, it sucked leaving because I had to work more hours, but it was at least I didn't have to do food service anymore. I just did food.
Mine was a tough decision that ended up being very good for me. In middle school, I had one friend. His name was Robbie. We're still friends, but I hated the sousaphone with a passion.
Wait. Hold
I-
on a second.
I fucking
Let him
hated
finish.
because the only experience I had with the sousaphone was it was the annoying thing that sat at my house and I practiced on, and it was the thing that destroyed my shoulder once or twice a year when I marched with it in the parade.
And
It was-
also that episode of Kids Next Door.
And also the episode of Kids Next Door, yes. But no,
You have to remind me of that one.
it's just a stupid joke. But so, hated the sousaphone, hated it because it was heavy and it was annoying. And then the high school band director came and talked to us in 8th grade, and he was like, "Hey, here's why you should do marching band." And I was kind of like, "Fuck that noise! I'm not doing that." And then after the meeting, my friend Robbie came up to me and he was like, "Hey, you doing marching band?" And I was like, "I don't think so." And he's like, "Oh, okay, because I'm gonna do it." And then like it was like my life freezed, life froze for me. I was like, well, I could do marching band and have a friend, or I could not do marching band and have no friends. Marching band it is.
So you had the one friend.
Yes, I had one friend.
You had
Hey, that's all you need sometimes.
You
Had it out.
Mostly because
You had it.
hey, that was better than me.
mostly because in leaving middle or going into middle school, I didn't want to hang out with the nerdy friends anymore, so I abandoned them.
Wow.
But I had
Wait,
no other
and
friends to
look
go
where you
to.
are.
Kevin,
I did the same thing. I did the same
It's
thing.
the life.
although in my instance it backfired on me because I did not fit in with them at all.
What, the nerdy friends?
No, the not nerdy friends.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what happened. I mean, like, I didn't have any not nerdy friends. I was just kind of
Yeah.
like, I think I'm cooler than this.
I
and then,
basically
yeah.
conceded by sitting with the cool band kids.
I conceded by sitting with like the what you would now call like the loners. That didn't really belong to any
That's
group.
not the cool kids.
Irony.
No, it is not. No, it is not. I will tell you that. If you have friends, don't leave them. Don't leave your friends.
Yeah.
It's just don't. Do
It's
it.
all. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll be like the guy when I was in school, where he would literally all the time, because we could like hang out in the band room before class started, and this guy would literally just walk around the band room for a half hour before classes started. Didn't talk to anyone. Just walked around the band room. Oh. Sorry, I just realized I was misgendering them now that they transitioned. But anyway,
Oh,
yes.
well, at least
I
you
don't
realized
think-
it.
If you're talking about them in past tense, I don't think it meant.
Well,
Anyway.
they.
Don't be there. Those two things aren't related. They were just not good at talking to people.
That's fair.
Steve
Not
or Ryan?
Not really a tough decision, but I guess. But like when I left my job at my when I left my first job at my first chemistry job, realized how much of a toxic environment that was, and how much happier I am at my new job now that people actually respect me and aren't pieces of shit.
Nice.
So that's
Yeah.
pretty nice.
Ryan, anything?
I'm too nice.
Mood.
Okay.
When I quit Meyer, like that was really tough on me because like I'm too nice to just say I'm done, even though I like talk massive shit about it.
Is that why you brought us in to assist?
I told you guys I wasn't gonna stop you.
Oh, we were gonna go all in.
We were shopping for duct tape and rope and like a plunger.
And then like I also had a
mask.
plan. Yeah, you had a plan and I had a plan.
And those
And
two plans.
neither of us communicated that to each other.
That was a problem.
We were working on two different spreadsheets.
Okay. So next
The only
week
thing
is
I can think of right now, but anyway.
okay. So next week's podcast 50, which we skipped 2 weeks. What?
Do we still have some video clips of that didn't make it onto any social media sites?
Probably somewhere.
Because I know we tried recording stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, so next week's podcast 50, which we've missed 2 weeks. So next week is the official 1 year anniversary of the VGRcast. Hoorah! Huzzah! Please don't. So yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do for that. Maybe just recounting favorite stories. I don't know.
Orgy.
No dicks on stream. So yeah.
What about asses?
No. You could be in a hot tub.
Oh yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Maybe I'll get a hot tub for the
I
next
think I
stream.
have a goddamn hot tub.
They get inflatable hot tubs. Anyways, so yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. It's been fun. We'll be back next week with another episode of the podcast. Make sure you watch Invincible episodes 3 and 4 if you want to participate in the conversation. Don't watch past that though, because spoilers.
I'll kill you.
Or I'll kill
No, you won't.
I'll stick my dick in you.
Well, that's more of a threat.
Yeah. Not a threat, it's a promise.
Oh God.
No.
Then don't watch ahead.
You're disgusting. Okay.
Yep.
That is pretty gross, Mike. Not gonna lie. Okay, we're ending there.
Yes, let's.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Stick my dick in an air mattress called